I welcome you back to Farm to Fortune, and in today's video I'll be teaching you how much it will cost you to raise 100 broiler chickens for Christmas. And when I'm saying Christmas chickens, these are chickens you want to raise for a minimum of 8 weeks. Some farmers extend theirs to 10 weeks while some 12 weeks. Even if this is your first time of raising chickens for Christmas, this breakdown will help you plan your budget with confidence, and you can also know how much you will be selling your chickens during Christmas and how much profit you will make at the end of sales. Before you even consider raising Christmas chicken, I want to believe you have a space where you will raise them, as well as their drinkers and feeders, because these are the things that do not count when it comes to budgeting for one complete cycle. Now let's get into the video. The first thing you want to consider is your day-old chicks. You will need 100-day-old chicks, and prices varies by location and hatchery. As at the time I recorded this video, day-old chicks is sold for 1,700 naira per one. So for you to get 100-day-old chicks, we multiply 1,700 by 100, and that will give you 170,000 naira. That is the price we'll be getting 100-day-old chicks. The next is feed, and feed takes about 75 to 85% of your total cost of production, especially if you are raising your birds till 8 weeks, 10 weeks, or even above. A broiler will consume between 8 to 12 kg of feed between 8 to 10 weeks. If you only want to keep your birds till 8 weeks, you have to feed your birds up to 8 kg of feed to get an average weight between 4 to 5 kg per bird. Or you feed your birds 12 kg of feed for 10 weeks to give you an average weight of 6 kg or more per bird. That is, if you feed your birds 8 kg of feed in 8 weeks, you should be expecting those birds to weigh between 4 kg to 5 kg of weight. Or when you feed your birds 12 kg of feed for 10 weeks, you should be expecting your birds to weigh 6 kg or more after 10 weeks. Now, if you want to raise your birds for 8 weeks and feed them 8 kg of feed, for you to calculate for 100 birds, you have to multiply 8 kg of feed by 100 birds, which will give you 800 kg of feed, which means 100 birds will consume 800 kg of feed for 8 weeks. Now, if a bag of feed is 25 kg, in other locations they use 50 kgs, but here in Nigeria it is usually 25 kg. To get the number of bags of feed to use, you will have to divide that 800 kg of feed that 100 broilers will consume for 8 weeks by the 25 kg, which is 1 bag of feed. This is going to give you 32 bags of feed, which means 100 broilers will consume 32 bags of feed for 8 weeks to give you an average weight of 4 to 5 kg per bird. Now, if the price of bag of feed is 25,000 naira, currently in my location, average price of bag of feed is 25,000 naira. So that means 32 bags will give us 25,000 times 32 bags, and that's 800,000 naira on feed only for 8 weeks. Feed only will take 800,000 naira to feed 100 broilers for 8 weeks. If you now want to extend their stay till 10 weeks and feed them 12 kg of feed, that means 100 birds will consume 100 times 12 kg, that is 1,200 kg of feed. And when we convert that to the bags of feed by dividing 1,200 kg by 25, we will get 48 bags of feed. And if a bag of feed costs 25,000 naira, you can use the price of feed in your location to do this calculation. We will arrive at 48 bags times 25,000 naira, and that's 1.2 million on feed only for 10 weeks. Which means 100 broiler chickens will consume feed worth 1.2 million naira for 10 weeks. Now that we are done with feed, the next thing you want to consider is their vaccination and medication. When it comes to vaccination, it is advisable you give your birds 3 doses of vaccine as against 2 doses when you raise them for 5 to 6 weeks. So if you are raising your birds for up to 10 weeks, 8 weeks, when you do your first vaccination, second vaccination, it is advisable you give them the 3rd booster. Yes, And as for medications, your bird requires glucose, especially during brooding, multivitamins, stress pack, some antibiotics, some anticoccidia, and even the Lausa, because you are leaving them for up to 8 weeks or 10 weeks. So it is necessary you give them the Lausa when necessary, when they show the symptoms. But if they are not showing any symptoms, you can just leave it for them. But you can just include it in your budget that you will be getting the Lausa for your birds. You can set aside 30,000 naira for these vaccines and medications, and set aside about 10,000 naira extra for organic treatment, since your production is very small, and this is very essential for preventing diseases and also boost their growth. Because when you are selling Christmas chicken, you want to deliver big chicken and healthy looking chickens. So that is very, very essential as well. And this makes your cost on medication and vaccination 40,000 naira. So the next thing you want to consider is your heat source. So we have different type of heat source. You can decide to use charcoal, you can decide to use gas brooder. But if you will be using charcoal, because this is what I use as my heat source, one bag is enough for 100 broilers, and one bag in my location costs 8,000 naira. You also want to consider your beddings. You can use either wood shavings or sawdust. And for this particular production, 6 bags of this is enough. And a bag costs around 500 naira here in my location. So that makes it 500 naira times 6 bags, which is 3,000 naira on beddings. And another thing you want to consider is your transportation. Transportation cost too is very, very important. So the cost of transporting your day-old chicks to your farm, and the cost of transporting the feed to your farm. You might want to set aside 10,000 naira for this too. You might not spend up to this, and you might spend more depending on your location, and that's all you need. And I'll set aside 5,000 naira for miscellaneous. So if you're just starting out and you'll be needing to get drinkers, feeders and the likes, you have to include that cost as well. But the reason I'm not including this is because all those drinkers, feeders, they are not part of your cost of production. That is the way you include it. But they are not direct cost, they are indirect cost. That is why I'm not including it here. So now that we've break down the cost, let's put it all together. If you are keeping your birds till 8 weeks, here is a summary of our estimated cost. For your day-old chicks, you will be spending 170,000 naira. So the cost of day-old chicks in your location or the hatchery you are getting it from is what you will be using for your calculation. It can be more than this, it can be less than this. And on feed, you will be needing 32 bags of feed to raise 100 broilers for 8 weeks. And that alone costs 800,000 naira. So kindly find out how much a bag of feed costs in your location to do your own estimate. Then the next thing is vaccines and medications. We set aside 40,000 naira, beddings 3,000, charcoal 8,000, transportation 10,000, and miscellaneous 5,000 naira. So the total estimate for this will be 1,036,000 naira to raise 100 broilers for 8 weeks. 1,036,000 naira. And if you are keeping your birds till 10 weeks, here is a summary of our estimated cost. Day-old chicks 170,000, feed 48 bags 1.2 million, vaccines and medications 40,000, beddings 3,000, charcoal 8,000, transportation 10,000, miscellaneous 5,000, and the total estimate would be 1,436,000 naira. So let's assume you had 5% mortality under good management. That is, out of the 100 birds, 5% of these 100 birds died under good management. You will be left with 95 birds. So the cost of production for one bird will be either 1,036,000 naira divided by 95 birds for 8 weeks, which will give us 10,900 naira per bird. That is almost 11,000 naira, or 1,436,000 naira divided by 95 beds for 10 weeks, which would give us 15,100 naira per bed. So this is the cost of production. This is the cost of producing one bed. If you are raising it till 8 weeks, we are spending roughly 11,000 naira to produce, or 15,100 naira to produce one bed, one Christmas chicken bed. So as a farmer, how much will you sell your 8 weeks beds or your 10 weeks beds? Will you be selling your 8 weeks for 15,000 naira or 20,000 naira to give you a profit margin of 5,000 naira or 10,000 naira or 4,000 naira? Or will you be selling your 10 weeks beds for 20, 25 or 30,000 naira to give you a profit margin of 5,000, 10,000 or even 15,000 naira? And as a smart farmer, would you rather invest between 1 to 1.4 million naira on 100 broilers for 8 to 10 weeks? Or you would rather raise 200 broilers with the same amount for 5 to 6 weeks and even collect change? And then you can as well run 2 cycles within the same time frame using the same amount. So kindly let me know your opinion in the comment section. If you find this video really helpful, kindly like, comment and share. And do not forget to subscribe to this channel if you are just joining this channel for the very first time. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.